Yeah, what's going on, guys? We're here back on the Madden 17, and yesterday we did a video on this offense that was under, what was it, 43K, I believe it was, somewhere around 43K for this beast offense. If you guys are interested in that, definitely go check out yesterday's video. But today we're going to be doing the defensive side of things that I said I was going to be doing. So this is the defense for that team, and like I said, if you guys want to see me run some gameplay with this, definitely let me know. But without further ado, let's jump into this and do this team breakdown. So first off, in free safety, we're going to have Brian Dawkins. You guys can see, actually, we have zone coverage and 4-3 chemistry, and for zone coverage, all of our secondary is pretty much zone coverage and our middle linebacker. So Brian Dawkins is going to be the first guy that we go over. Brian Dawkins is very good. We also have a second, we also have a backup for him, which is, where's he at? Reggie Nelson. Okay, so Brian Dawkins is, actually, let's just compare the two. So these two are definitely your best two options, I would say, for zone coverage. So Reggie Nelson has him beaten speed and acceleration, but Brian Dawkins is winning in play rec, tackling, and zone coverage, pursuit, and hit power. And Brian Dawkins is not someone to play around with. You guys should already know that. I get that this is just a gold version of it, but that hit power is no joke at 87. 84 speed is definitely enough to get something done, to be completely honest. No one's that quick that they're going to burn past them. Even people with like 92 speed, I still think Brian Dawkins is not going to get burned, to be completely honest. That's just not how this game works. And he's decently tall. He's 6'3", or I'm sorry, he's 6 foot. He's 6 foot. Reggie Nelson's 5'11". But that hit power is definitely not something to play around with. So these are your two options for free safety. I would just suggest picking them both up. Call it a day. They're both about 4K put together. So Brian Dawkins is 3K, Reggie Nelson is 1K, so I would just pick them both up. Then over here at strong safety, we're actually going to have two options as well, and that's going to be Bob Sanders and then a backup if you're interested in backups. I don't really care about backups, but I'm sure some people do, and that's going to be Bob Sanders and Patrick Chung. So Bob Sanders is the only thing that's bad about him. He's very small at only 5'8", but Patrick Chung is 5'11". So Sanders has the speed advantage, and they have the same excel. Patrick Chung is going to be beating him in play rec, and I think tackling, that green thing just, or the, yeah, whatever. So Patrick Chung is beating him in tackling, and he's also beating him in man coverage. So Patrick Chung is all around the better guy, I would say, even in zone coverage. But the thing that Bob Sanders is very good at is hit power. He's got speed and he's got hit power, but it's going to be up to you who you think is the better starter. I prefer Bob Sanders just because I like that speed and I like that hit power. But Patrick Chung is going to be able to do just about anything Bob Sanders can do, except lay the wood and have as much speed. But the way I see it is, if Brian Dawkins is going to have 84 speed, then I'm going to need someone else that's quick with Bob Sanders. That way, because I'd rather have Brian Dawkins underneath and Bob Sanders over top, because Bob Sanders is a little bit quicker than Brian Dawkins. But these guys together are also very cheap. I believe Bob Sanders is about 2K and Patrick Chung is 1K, so that's 3K for them. So I would just pick them both up. And then down here we have Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler. Actually, let's just compare. We're going to go over our cornerbacks that we have here. And the first is going to be Malcolm Butler and Jonathan Joseph, I'm sorry. And these two are definitely going to be your best two, I would say, for zone coverage. Jonathan Joseph has better speed and better excel only by 1, same agility. And then Jonathan Joseph has very glitchy man coverage at 92, and he's got his zone coverage boost, which is great. So he's got 92 man as opposed to Malcolm Butler's 84 man. And then they both have they have around the same. I actually do think they have the same zone coverage. But Malcolm Butler is going to be destroying him in press, but it's okay. We gotta counter for that later on. Play rec, Jonathan Joseph, and catching is going to go to Malcolm Butler. And then we also have some other options. We got Prince Amukamara. Prince Amukamara is he's definitely a pretty good guy, and he is who you would sub in over Jonathan Joseph if you're trying to press. So he's got better speed, better excel, better agility than Butler. Same man coverage, worse zone coverage, actually substantially, but he does have that speed and he's got that press. We see, but as far as coverage stats, he's definitely not there. He's just there for the speed and for the press. And then we have Sam Shields. Sam Shields is pretty good all around. He's got very good speed, decent excel, same agility, good man coverage, solid zone coverage, horrible press, but it's not like it's that big of a deal. He's got very good play rec and very decent catching, and I believe that's it. Actually, Xavier Rhodes is probably a pretty decent option as well with his press and his speed. So this is a good guy to play the flats, to be completely honest, with 89 speed, 88 acceleration, 89 press. So this is very good. His zone coverage, his coverage stats are a little bit weak, but he is a pretty good cornerback just because of his height too. I think he's 6'1", So he's got decent height, he's got decent speed. And then finally we got William Gay over here. Now I know this sounds a little bit weird because he's a 78 overall, but he's very good. He's got decent zone coverage at 83, decent speed. And what this guy has that a lot of people don't have, and I'm going to do my best to show you this. If I could just get over there. Where is it at? Tackle. He's got 75 tackle, which is very, 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 very good for a cornerback. So I use him for like blitzes. Whenever I'm blitzing my cornerback, he's got 85 speed, which is all right, but he's got very good tackling. And that's actually all of the secondary members. And actually, our secondary is only around 12.4K. I think it's 12K, somewhere around there. So 12.4K is what our secondary is costing, and that's including all of the backups. So you could even just say like, I don't want this backup, or I don't want that backup, or I want Patrick Chung, not Bob Sanders, and then you could cut the cost even more. But 12.4K for all of these guys and their backups. Then we have our defensive line, and the defensive line is pretty nice as well. We'll start off with Ziggy Ansah, and this is a very, very good card. He's very glitchy. He's only going for about 1.4K, and he is super good. We're actually going to compare him to Cliff Averill, who is also in the lineup, who I also think is very good, but Cliff Averill is a little bit more expensive because he's a Seahawk. They got the same speed. Ansah has a way better strength, one better excel, better tackling, block shed though. Cliff Averill is very good at block shedding. So is Ansah though. So that's why Cliff Averill is very good, is because he's got speed and he's got block shed. Ansah is going to have the better power move, but Averill is going to have the better finesse move, and he's going to have better play rec. So these cards are very, very similar. The only difference is Cliff Averill is going to be your better power move and finesse guy, to be honest. And then you have and the better block shed, but Ansah has got the speed, and he's got the strength, and he's got the tackling. So the only thing I have to be really careful about is Cliff Averill is his tackling is not that good. But odds are, if one person block sheds, and you could just odds are by the time they break off your tackle, someone else is going to be back there anyways. So I'm not really worried about it, because if he gets in the backfield, he's probably going to slow them down enough for someone else to come in or someone else to block shed. So that's the two I'm going with right here. And I believe Cliff Averill is 3K and Ziggy Ansah is 1.4K. So even if you want to just have one or the other, you could do that. But both together, they're both pretty cheap, around 4K. And then we have Dontari Poe. Dontari Poe is a little bit on the expensive side. And it's because he's absolutely glitchy, and because the Chiefs have like that Chris Conley, I believe his name is. There's that Chris Conley card that everyone's trying to get, so the Chiefs gold players are pretty expensive. But Dontari Poe is definitely worth the coins, as he's got 74 speed, which is pretty good, but 92 strength is ridiculous. 86 tackle and 90 block shed. Very, very good stats. 83 play rec is also pretty good. And then backing him up, we have Malcolm Brown. If you're running a 4-3, which is what this chemistry is, then you got Malcolm Brown in as well. And you guys can see they have very similar stats, but I give this slight edge to Dontari Poe just because that block shed and that strength is just very, very good. But for a big guy, Malcolm Brown with high block shed and high speed, so he's also a very good option. So you could switch the two around if you want. It's completely up to you, but they're both very, very good. And I believe Dontari Poe is going for about 4K, and Brown is not even going for 2K, I believe 1.6K. Then we got Carlos Dunlap and Cameron Wake. Now these two are very similar as well. I just happen to have them both in my binder, so I put them both on there. So Carlos Dunlap has a slight speed advantage over him, but not by much, and he's better strength. Basically the same excel. He's got a little bit better tackling, but this is where it gets important. He's got way better block shed. And I think block shed is probably the most important. But then you can see Cameron Wake has the better power move, and a lot of people think power move is better than finesse move. And I don't agree, but Cameron Wake has got that power move. I think they're about the same. I don't really think it matters. I mean, there's some very good power move guys, and there's some very good finesse move guys. It's not. I don't think that any move is better than the other one. But if you're more to a power move, then Cameron Wake is going to be your guy. But I think Carlos Dunlap, he's got a very good finesse move, and he's got a lot of block shed. So I give the advantage to Carlos Dunlap. But they're both very, very cheap. Cameron Wake's going for about 1.2K, and Dunlap's going for about 1K. So I would just pick them both up anyways. And then finally we have the linebackers. Score is very, very solid, and we got a ton of backups. So let's just start over here at right outside linebacker. We have the milestone Lavonte David. You can just use the normal normal Lavonte David, who's an 81 overall. He's literally the same card. He just doesn't have the coverage linebacker, and he's not even getting the advantage. You guys can see CL. He doesn't even get the little thing or anything. So he's basically useless in regards to that. So you don't even have to worry about that. Then backing him up, we have Michael Kendricks, and they're both very, very good. David is going for about 1K if you get his version without the milestone. It doesn't make a difference. He's just the one that I had in my binder. So 1K for him, and then also 1K for Kendricks. So 2K, and you got two people over here. Michael Kendricks is very good if you want to put someone in for speed and for block shed. I'm sorry, for speed and for blitzing, Michael Kendricks is going to be your go-to guy. He's a very good blitzing linebacker, and he's also got very good coverage stats, but he's got speed, and he's going to be able to blitz, and he's got decent coverage just in case. So Lavonte David has got speed, and he's got hit power too. They both have hit power, which is good. Then we got Bobby Wagner. He's the middle linebacker. He's going to be primarily your user, and you can see he's got that zone coverage, so you definitely need him. So Bobby Wagner, very, very good stats all across the board. Let's go check him out. And actually, the backup for him is Mike Singletary, who is also a 4-3 defense. They're both very, very good. Wagner's got the speed advantage, but Singletary has the advantage in awareness. They both have very good tackling, very good play rec, very good block shed, very good pursuit. Bobby Wagner has the advantage over zone coverage and hit power. So Bobby Wagner is a very, very, very good middle linebacker. And with the boost, he's an 85 overall. So I definitely think you can't go wrong with that. So you got him and Singletary, and then backing them up, you have Deion Buchanan. And Deion Buchanan is actually free. You can get him from doing solo challenges, or you can get the 78 overall, whichever. But I definitely think that he's worth putting back there just as a backup because he could play every linebacker position. He's got hit power. He's got speed. He's very, very good. And you can get him from the solo challenges. I can't remember which ones they are. I believe it's like the weekly challenge or whatever it is. It's like week 3 or week 4, something like that. But it's a Deion Buchanan item. You got to do all the solo challenges to get him, though, which kind of sucks. But Bobby Wagner is going for about 4K. Singletary is going for about 2K. And the Deion Buchanan is free. And then finally, over here, we got Mark Barron. Mark Barron's going for around 2K, I want to say. Yeah, somewhere around 2K. Oh, I'm sorry, 1K. He's going for like 1.2K, I believe. And then Michael Kendricks is backing him up, same thing. And then we got Vic Beasley. We also got him from solo challenges, the same solo challenges that we got Deion Buchanan from. We got Vic Beasley, so he is also free. If you don't have him, that's fine. You don't even need him. I just threw him in there just because he's a good backup for speed, and he can play the defensive line as well if you need something like that. And that's actually going to be the full team. The linebacking core is around 9K. So that's the secondary is around 12.4K. The defensive line is 12.2K, and then the linebacking core is 9K. So that's a very, very cheap team. What is that? I don't even know. I should have done the math. 24.6 plus 9, something like that. I don't know. Whatever 24.6 plus 9 is, that's how much this team is. It's under 30K, though. So overall, we built this whole team, offense and defense, for around 70K, which you could get easily just by doing solo challenges. And all these cards are very easy to get. You could probably get them from pulling packs in the solo challenges. So let me know if you guys want to see me do some games with these guys, maybe some open mutt. I probably got to get a different punter, though, because I probably shouldn't be using an elite punter. But like I said, let me know if you guys want to see some head-to-head with this team, and then I'll jump up into another one. But if you guys like this video, definitely like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. It's going to be down in the description below. And as always, guys, peace.